We're pitching up a channel, bringing smiles to the world. We're hitting first base. Marty Lurie with friends. Home run, you know the ways and the trends, the stories all with the match of the block. It's Marty and friends. Marty and friends.
All right. Thank you, Ruby. Welcome to 2026. Marty Lurie and friends. Eric joins us, Giant Sports Talk Live. And it's great to have everyone back with us. And, you know, I said to Eric, it's time to just get back on and catch up a little bit as to what's going on in baseball, what's going on with the Giants, what's going on in life with us, and just catch up. So we're glad to have everybody back. And you can make comments. We'll read them. Lou Marston, of course, started updates.
Yeah.
Worse this year than last year. We picked up crumbs. Well, we knew that. Lou, we're glad to have you. Lou, if you get in that green room, we'll put you on here, and you can join Eric and I if you'd like to do that. JB, it's good to hear from you as well. Well, it is 2026, and, you know, Glenn Kuiper's done a great job, and he's been on a lot, and, you know, catching up with everybody and, you know, what the Giants are doing. Some of the things about me, first of all, this week I was up in San Jose in Campbell for the 40th annual Hot Stove Banquet. And it really was terrific. And I'll show you the program right there. And I received the Talking Baseball and Baseball Met Special Media Recognition Award. And ended up making a nice speech. And so many people from the South Bay. And got this. Look at this, Eric.
Look at that. You got to put that on my I love me wall.
Yeah, how about that? So I did that this week, and it really was a lot of fun to do. And met a lot of nice people. Sandy Whitall ran the program, and Rusty Weeks and Mark Marquez was there, and the coach from Stanford, David Esker, and from Santa Clara. I mean, just all these dignitaries from the South Bay. But the part I liked was Randy Wynn was there. And I guess that's why I'm telling you this story. Randy Wynn was there to give the preview of the Giants. And I was so anxious. I said, good, I want to hear this. Russ Stanley was there, Karen Sweeney, who works with the general manager for years. She's Brian Sabian's right-hand person. And Bobby Evans was there. But here comes Randy Wynn. And he got up there. And this is what I tell everybody. So Lou, listen, and everyone else, listen. They are banking on their young players making a step forward. That's what they're banking on. And they've signed Tyler Mahle. They've signed Adrian Hauser. So they have two major league arms to throw in the rotation. And you have Robbie Ray, you have Logan Webb, and you have Roop, who hopefully is healthy. If he is, he's solid. He's a solid player. But they are banking on the young players taking another step forward. And when you look at the roster, and Erica, you may want to look at this 40-man roster, take a look at how many pitchers they have. They must have, on the 40-man, they must have 25 pitchers. I mean, they have pitchers all over the place. They must have 20 pitchers on the 40-man. And you go to Tristan Beck, and you know the names, the Carson Seymours, Trevor McDonald. But they think Hayden Birdsong, as wild as he was last year, is ready to make that jump. So what they're really banking on here is, yes, Lou, they picked up the crumbs, you know, the outliers for infielders, for catching, and all that kind of stuff. All the outfielders they picked up are gone already.
They are.
Weimer is gone already, and Dean just got picked up by the Cubs the other day. So listening to Randy Wynn, what he was saying was, what we have, we think can get better. And that's really what they believe. And you know something? I understand that, because what they have are guys who are just close. They're at that age. They're just close that maybe Matos will make it. Maybe Tristan Beck will make it. Maybe Trevor McDonald will make it. Maybe Birdsong will make it. Roop will make it. And, some of those guys can. And that's what they're banking on. So they may make a deal. I mean, it's not impossible. The Cardinals want to unload Brendan Donovan. They do. And they're begging someone to really make them a real good offer. And the Giants probably are, offering a couple of, third level, maybe, minor leaguers. But Seattle is in for the money. Toronto is in for the money. Arizona has made some moves. They picked up Arenado the other day. There are teams that are in. The Red Sox, Ranger Suarez, they picked him up the other day. They've got like 11 pitchers on the Red Sox now. They're in it. The Phillies are very much in it. Kyle Tucker could be a Blue Jay. He could be a Dodger. He could be a Yankee. Cody Bellinger could be a Dodger. He could be a Yankee. He could be a Met. So there are certain teams that are in and want to spend the money, and they're in. The Giants are not one of those teams, but they are a team that will come back with Ramos, with Logan Gilbert, with Jung Ho Lee. They all went to Korea. And I know I'm talking a while here before I let Eric talk, but they all went to Korea. Buster, all of a sudden I see he's in Korea with Willie Adames and all these other people. And the whole front office went, and, because they want to establish the Giants' presence in Korea. It's all money. To make money. And Ron Wotus said this 2 years ago when they got Lee. He said, sign Lee's father, get a foothold in Korea. And finally they did it. But I think they made the pilgrimage to Korea just to tell Lee he's not playing center field. I think that's why they all went. Say, look, we love you. We're all here, but you're going to be a right fielder or a left fielder. So they're still looking for a center fielder. And I think they're still looking at second base. I think they're still considering it. This whole talk about Nico Horner, the Cubs are in. The Cubs are in big time. And I said it the other day, why in the world would the Cubs trade Nico Horner, who's a quality player? Stanford, he's a local kid from the East Bay. He's a terrific player. He runs well. He doesn't strike out, contact rate and all that. Because they're trying to win a World Series. But that name is out there. But the Donovan name, he kills the Giants. I've said this for 2 years. If you look it up, right? Donovan and the other left-handed hitter, the heavy-set kid, I forget his name, baseman.
I can't remember.
They kill him. Yeah, they kill the Giants. So those guys can hit. So maybe that'll happen. But listening to Randy Witten, and everyone can complain about the Giants and what they did and didn't do, what they didn't do. They believe in what they have, and they're building that team from within. And they're stuck with the long-term contracts, but they think Eldridge can make it. They think that. And then it's funny because, you talk about, well, they're going to be good in 2029. Come on, 29. I hate to tell you how old I'm going to be. I don't want to wait till 2029. To tell you the truth. But the kid they signed today, this Luis Hernandez, 17 years old. He played with men in the Venezuelan league. First of all, he's in the Venezuelan league. Do we have to go through Rubio to get him here? Is Trump going to get in the middle of this? So they just paid this kid. I hope the kid's okay. He is. But they say he, other than running, he's an impact player. And the kid from last year, the infield, the shortstop that they had, he's one of the top. Yeah, he's one of the top prospects now, and Johnny Level. So they have players. I haven't talked too much about outfielders, but they got a lot of middle infielders coming. And that's what they believe in. That's what they believe in. So you're not going to have something where they're going to go out and sign Framber Valdez, for 280 million, or Kyle Tucker for 400 million. It's not happening.
Mhm.
It's not going to happen. They really believe that they can get better from within. And the other thing that they believe in is their new philosophy, and that is that college atmosphere kind of thing. The fact that Vitello is the kind of guy. Look, someone hits a home run, he can't jump around and jump in the stands, like he did in Tennessee. That's not going to work. But he has managed, as Randy Wynn says, a lot of games. And they have Brett Anderson's father as a pitching coach. They got a whole bunch of hitting coaches, and they have a new philosophy. So it's a lot of transition. And if anybody but Posey was doing this, people would be going nuts. People would be going nuts. If they brought in, a guy from the Brewers, the assistant general manager is now running the Giants, and we don't know who he is, and he did this, he'd be run out of town. He wouldn't be able to show his face at Original Joe's. He wouldn't be able to do anything. But Posey has that luxury. He has that luxury. He brings in Javi Lopez. He's got Randy Wynn. He's got Dusty. He's got Bochy around. Whatever these people are going to do, it gives them some credibility for what he's trying to do. And that's the thing. So let's see what happens. As I said, the reason I didn't do shows for 4 or 5 weeks or a few weeks, who cares? You could beat this to death. But we got to just sit back and watch and see what happens. That's what we have to do. And it may be good. We may be pleasantly surprised. Or it may be a year where these guys don't make it. And we have to say, well, maybe next year they're going to make it. And maybe they'll get involved with that. But that's where the Giants are at. That's where they're at. The Dodgers still, they got Diaz. They got a lot of people. And Arizona went out and got Arenado, and didn't they bring Merrill Kelly back? I think
they brought him back.
Went back to Arizona. Gallen is still out there. Gallen, it's amazing that he has not signed anywhere yet. And also Valdez, obviously, is out there, and Bichette is out there. Bichette sounds like a Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But, Toronto's spending money. So we'll see. That's all, and spring training's in a month. And we'll watch Eldridge, and we'll watch the kid from Tennessee in the outfield and see what he can do. And we'll get an idea of what the pitchers look like. And then we got the WBC to contend with, which I'm not thrilled about that because of Webb.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you need is him getting in shape in January.
Right.
It's the last thing you need.
Especially with the workload, right? That's where you're talking.
All right, so that's me. That's what I got to say. The 40th annual Hot Field Banquet. Robbie Dizzle was there. We saw him. One of our listeners was there. But a lot of Chris Townsend was the MC. It was really nice, really nice. And we have the movie, the Baseball Mensch, and Marty Lurie story, is in the Miami Jewish Film Festival, January 26th. Palm Beach, January 25th. Art Shamsky, former Met, is going to be there on the 25th. I'm going to speak for the audience that day. It's going to be in the Phoenix Film Festival. It's going to be at Cooperstown in June. It's going to be shown in Cooperstown in June. How about that?
Wow.
And it's also going to be on Amazon Prime. They're just finishing that up. Amazon does a quality control test on the movie, and then you'll be able to rent it for $3 or $4 and
Perfect.
watch. So that's happening. So it's all good stuff, and I'm looking forward to the season. So, Eric, you talk for a while, and let's see what people are saying. You could throw up any of these things you want.
Gotcha. We got Sean the Burrito Man says, Marty and Eric, love it. Hey, appreciate that, Sean. Sean's he comes in quite often, so appreciate that. Listen to Rosemont. He's a Stanford alum. Low key watching Eric and Marty is like watching the professor and the protege. Hey, I appreciate that, Rosemont. Yeah, thank you.
I love Eric. Eric has been talking to me since 2010.
Yeah,
since 2010. Eric every weekend called the show. Eric from Beale Air Force Base, and Eric knows his stuff. I love working with him. I do.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Marty.
I do.
I try to do you justice there, Marty.
Talk pleasure to work with.
I tell you, it's interesting to what Randy Wynn had to say, and it kind of makes sense that you want to go with the youth. I mean, as far as putting a club together, the most optimal thing is to try to do it from within. I'll tell you, the one thing, the roster is, I should say the lineup, I'm okay with the lineup. The lineup is decent. Would it be nice to get another bat? Sure. But the key, I think I wanted the Giants to go out there and get a guy, right? A Ranger Suarez, for example, yesterday signed 5 years, 130, $26 million a year. That's not bad for a Ranger Suarez, because we don't know where Ray is going to be following the 2026 season, because he may very well leave. I don't know if the Giants are going to extend him or anything. I mean, maybe that comes in spring training. Who knows? But again, it gives you a guy. It gives you that third guy in the rotation. And then once Ray leaves next year, I mean, you're looking ahead a little bit. You still have a guy that's going to be there, and you still have a chance for some of the young guys to break through. You still have Roop, and then and if you wanted to go out there and get a Malley and a Hauser, I understand that. The thing I'm concerned about, Marty, is the innings pitched, because some of these guys have not been in that territory where they can go out there and throw 150, 180 innings. And, that's something I think is going to be something to watch on this season. Right. And as far as, go ahead, Marty.
Well, no, they're looking at Wisenhunt. I mean, go, if you want to put up that 40-man roster on the screen.
Sure, I'll get it.
And just go down that list of pitchers and how many of them. And Keaton Wynn, you forgot about him.
Yeah.
They've got a million guys. So to answer your question about taking care of the innings, they feel if Hauser or Malley, and look, Hauser doesn't have that much wrong with him. He's always been good. He was good with the Brewers. He was good with Tampa. He was good with the White Sox. Hauser's decent. Yeah, look at this.
This is incredible.
I mean, seriously. We've got about Bivens. You got Bivens. Go ahead. They personally break her back.
Yes.
He's got a shot at this thing. Go ahead. Go down the list.
You got Buto and Jason Foley, who will come halfway through the season. Matt Gage, the lefty. Sam Hinches, a guy. He's another lefty coming off of shoulder surgery. Adrian Hauser, Tyler Malley. Again, Hauser not off injury. Tyler, that's something to keep an eye on him. Trevor McDonald, he finished the season pretty strong in 25. Eric Miller, hopefully his elbow holds up. The flamethrower, Peguero. Robbie Ray, Randy Rodriguez, we ain't going to see him. Landon Roop, looking forward to see what he could do. Hopefully his elbow's okay. Reaver San Martin, I forgot about him. That's one of the first free agent signings that they had. Carson Seymour, Kaiwei Tang, Blade Tidwell. That one's going to be interesting.
How about Tang?
Kaiwei Tang.
Tang wasn't so bad. Tang has potential. He would just blow up in that one inning, and then
yes,
he has. And go ahead and Tidwell. We haven't even mentioned Tidwell.
Tidwell,
that's Tony Vitello's guy.
It is, and he was tearing it up in Sacramento until his shoulder started barking, and then they had to shut him down. Ryan Walker, is he going to be the closer, Marty? Is Ryan Walker going to be the closer? No. We'll have to. That's something that's going to. We don't know who the closer is at this particular time. Logan Webb, of course, our ace. Carson Wisenhunt, and then of course Keaton Wynn. There you go. That's a lot of pitchers.
We didn't count them up, but
Here, let's count.
15 to 20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Come on. 23 of 40 are pitchers. 22. And every one of them has a little bit of a story that maybe something can happen to them. So that's what Randy Wynn was getting across to everybody, is that if we have enough guys, we think someone can make a step up. And like we said, they got a lot of middle infielders.
Yes.
They got the kid who you mentioned, Josue.
Oh, yeah, Josuar, and then Luis with the two youngsters. Keelan and Maui Ohana. I can't remember. Awahana.
And then they're going to get the number 4 pick this year.
That's right.
So they have, this is their theory. Now the question for me is, what do you do? Can you live with Devers for 10 years? And Randy says, and look, people, if you look at the top 15 hitters in baseball, he's one of
He's
them.
there. He's there.
That year he had last year, I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says about him. Were you happy with Devers?
As a San Francisco Giant, yeah, I expected a little bit. But I also thought this way too, Marty, and maybe tell me if I'm off. He was with the Boston organization his whole career. Ever since he was 16 years old, he was with the organization. And he had to get up, come all the way to the other coast. And, I think maybe that's going to mess with you just a little bit, I think. And let's see what happens with one full year.
I agree 100%. 100%. That does happen. But if you did, let's put that aside, because he's getting 30 million to come coast to coast, which makes him a lot happier. But what you saw from him, would you say, wow, this is the next Joe DiMaggio, this is the next Willie Mays, this is the next Barry Bond? No,
he's not in that level. No,
he's got to stand. He's got to stand. He's a guy that's got to go to the next game. He's got to move up.
Yes,
he's got to move up. He's got to move it up. So, and Chapman is a little bit older. And then you get Lee, who's probably going to be a corner. Maybe Harrison Bader's still out there. He wants 3 years. I'm sure they don't want to do that. So they have to deal with the long-term contracts. Willie Adames, put up with him for 6 or 7 years. It's going to be interesting to see how these long contracts play out.
And Buster Posey's responsible for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see what Buster's doing here. Last year they opened it up, so to speak, and they extended Chapman, they signed Willie, and they traded for Devers. So he got the guys, I'm guessing, that he wanted. Now it's going to be a little bit different. Now let me ask you this, Marty. And we saw all those pitchers, and we know that there's a plethora of middle infielders. Do you think that some of these guys are in play for a trade? We're talking about Donovan, and I agree with you. I've been saying this from the beginning when the whole Horner stuff started, especially after they signed Bregman. Cubs are going for it. Why would you want to give up a guy that's going to be, integral in your lineup there? No, you got 1 year of control. He's cheap, and why would you get rid of him at this particular time? They're not rebuilding. St. Louis, on the other hand, they're getting rid of everybody. And I saw Ken Rosenthal. He was talking about maybe Donovan and Nootbaar being involved in a trade, and he was talking about the Seattle Mariners. You mentioned the Mariners. Would you take a Nootbaar and a Donovan if you could do that?
Absolutely. No, they're major league players. They're legitimate major league players. They can get on base. They can hit. Nootbaar plays all the outfield positions.
Does
Donovan can swing the bat. Yeah, I would do it. Dan loves Casey Schmidt. See what happened? Dan, Casey Schmidt came on the show, so Dan fell in love with Casey Schmidt. Casey Schmidt, the greatest thing that ever. We love him. He's a good player. But
good
come
kid.
on, yeah. But are you talking about the next Jeff Kent? I don't think so. But he is in that group of can he take another step forward? He's in that group. But if they could get Donovan and sacrifice Casey Schmidt, maybe so. Or maybe they're waiting for Chapman, to move Chapman at some point and put Casey Schmidt at third. But can you wait? How old is Casey Schmidt going to be?
He's a little bit older. Isn't he 26, 27? He's somewhere in there, right? Hold on. Let me see if they have their. Yeah, he was born in, where the heck's my middle infield? He was born in 99. So, yeah, he's what, 25? No, 27. 27.
Yeah, so he's getting up there. So, as I say, there's still room to do stuff, but according to Randy, what they got is what they got, and 23 pitchers, and out of those 23, if 2 or 3 make a step forward, they'll be excited. And that's really what we're looking at. I think that's
and if the Giants do make a move, do you think it's going to be because of a trade? You think it's going to be a trade? You think that would be the next move for the Giants?
I would think so. I mean, there's no one else really to sign out there.
No.
They're not going to look. we were told this, and we said it on the show even before we took a little hiatus in December. They're not spending money.
No.
Remember, I said that they're not going to spend money. Everyone went nuts about it, because they bought a theater. They didn't buy
Yeah.
bought a theater, so everyone went crazy about it. But they're not spending money. They want to develop these players, and as I say, they're going to get the number 4 player in the country. They've got 2 outstanding middle infielders, and maybe it'll take until we have. I don't know if I'm saying new government, but until we have changes in the world, it may take that long before the ball club looks different. So
Right.
But some
And,
of the go ahead.
and it's funny because you're talking about the theater, and that would, I mean, the Giants have a bad time of timing, right? It's like, what, right? Why would you go do that at a time when, people are clamoring for, this guy and that guy for the off season, and, you get the thoughts in the back of your head of, remember good old Harry Frazee, Boston, right? It's like,
That's the last thing you want to hear
right.
But look, they drew 2.9 million last year, and
They did.
they're going to have a good year this year, and they're very competitive. It's going to be exciting to watch them, to see what they do. And look, it doesn't take much to get in the playoffs. They went 81, 82. I forgot how many they won last year. They were close to 500, weren't they?
Right at there. Right at, was it 81 and 81, right?
Yeah. So what does it take to win 6 more games and make it crazy? So let's see. They're going to draw people like the club. They like the young players. They like Jung Ho Lee, and they're marketing it pretty well. So
Yeah.
if we ran it, we'd want to be have 3 or 4 more veterans in there, but they don't want to do that. They want to see what these young kids can do, and that's what they're going to do. And they have enough veterans, so they're not going to sink, because, like you said, their lineup is good enough. Ramos is good enough. They're not going to sink. They're going to be like they were last year. And the ball falls, and you get hits with runners in scoring position, and all of a sudden you're winning. Some years you get a hit and you win. And that's what happens. But let's do some housekeeping. It's great to see everyone. I'm glad to see everyone. By the way, Jeff Kent, they're going to retire his number.
I saw that.
Yeah, Jeff Kent in the Hall of Fame. I love that.
August 29th, I think, is the date.
Yeah, that's right. He's number 21. I spoke with Gene Bagato recently up in Bodega Bay, and he said there have been some beautiful days recently. It's a great time to visit the Sonoma coast, and we're going to update this as the season goes on, obviously. The Tides Wharf, the best seafood available, is waiting for visitors to enjoy either in the restaurant or take home for later. If you're looking to get away for a night or two, the Inn at the Tides, with its beautiful rooms, spacious rooms, all with bay views, offers the perfect spot to escape from the stress of life and relax. Bodega Bay, I love it. So if you need a change and don't want to travel too far, remember the Tides Wharf and the Inn at the Tides in scenic Bodega Bay. Rob Georgie and Tom Georgie, Georgie Brothers, they were at the event Tuesday night.
Nice.
Rob, and of course, they're wonderful sponsors of the show. And Georgie Brothers in South San Francisco. I was talking to Aaron today, my son. Everyone in the family has furniture from Georgie Brothers. It's incredible. I didn't realize he had so much stuff, And Rob was there, and he's a great supporter of our show and has been for years. And talked to Original Joe's today, and Walnut Creek is doing fantastic. Our Sunday contest, well, it's funny. I get emails from people who are now going to the Walnut Creek, who won the Sunday contest, and you think they're eating in a 5-star restaurant in Paris. I mean, the treatment they get when they win these contests is fabulous.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, on your Twitter, I've seen it where you'll put up the pictures of the people that they take. Yeah.
So Original Joe's and Western Alliance Bank is not Bridge Bank anymore. They're using the parent name.
Oh,
Western
okay.
Bank. So we got that going on. Rick Robin Construction. He's now doing home inspections and things like that. Again, Napa Valley Contractor of the Year, and he's a wonderful man, Rick Robin. So we got that. So I want to do Bodega Bay. Let's take a short break, and let's hear from a couple of our nations. Hey, nations open up at Fisherman's Wharf. How about that?
Hey, all right.
Come on. I talked to Grant Power the other day, the president, and he's back with us. So it's all good stuff. And, a month from now is going to be our first Sunday pregame show. Come on. Are you kidding?
That's right.
Come on. Then to do authors. We're going to bring on some of the authors and certainly get some books. And I'm looking forward to a nice season with the movie and everything else, and you and Rick Smith. And
yeah,
I like having our friends on. I do. I like
stuff.
Yeah, I like this. Just talking about what could happen in baseball, and I love the comments. So let's take a short break, and Eric, take a look at some of the comments too. We'll put some up.
Sounds great. Here we go.
Fans, joining us is Grant Power, President and CEO of Nations. Grant, last year we talked about the amazing breakfast at Nations. I'm going to ask you this. What's your favorite lunch?
I'm pretty split. I guess I'm kind of like a pitcher who has two favorite pitches they like leaning on. I'd say half the time I do the hamburger and half the time I do the wild salmon burger. It really depends on which protein you want. We love our beef supplier in Northern California. We've been with them for decades. We test our beef all the time. We sell ocean-caught wild salmon. Friends don't let friends eat farm salmon. It's absolutely delicious. To mix it up, I guess it's like a pitcher who has a two-seamer and a four-seamer, or maybe a four-seamer and a cutter. I actually go grilled onions on my hamburger half the time and raw onions the other half. Today at lunch, I got the French fries, but half the time I get the onion rings, and I had a wonderful slice of pecan pie. There's something for everybody, whether you like hot dogs or grilled cheese. It's really up to the individual what mood they're in, but my go-to is either the beef with the hamburger or the wild salmon, which is absolutely delicious.
Wow, I love it. Grant Power, President, CEO of Nations. Grant, thanks so much.
Pleasure being on.
It's been a pleasure working with Rick Robin this year. Rick Robin, ROBBEN, NapaConstruction.com. Rick, the last time you were on with us, you told us about kitchen and bath remodeling, but there's a lot more going on up in your area.
Yes, there is. ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units, which are known as granny units. We can do your existing garage, attached garage, even building a new unit in the back. And so what we do is come out, bring our architect out there. Such a great thing. No sewer hookup fees, no water hookup fees. So that's what we do.
Rick, how does one start the process with you? How does one get in touch with you?
You call Tammy, 707-332-7575, 7 days a week.
Rick Robin, ConstructionNapa.com. Rick, the thing I like about this, no problem for me. You come out with the plans, the permits, everything is in-house, no fees, and you get a new unit that you can rent out and get money back on your investment right away. I like it, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. Love talking to you.
Rick Robin, ConstructionNapa.com.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Eric. It's good.
You bet.
Yeah, good. You could put some of our comments up.
Sure. Let's get a couple of them. Got JB. This is our good friend from Australia. Says, I think they need a proven bat at the very least.
Yeah. What do you think?
It would be nice. And look, what is a proven bat, right? I would like to have Dom Smith. Why not? I don't know where you play him as far as a position. And that's another discussion we can have too, as far as young Bryce Eldridge, because Kyle Haynes had some interesting comments to say about Bryce's base running and defense. It's not exactly at the MLB level, but right. I want a guy who makes contact. Dom Smith. I love Dom Smith. And the Giants were on such a run there in that late summer. And then as soon as he pulled that hammy, and then the team just wasn't the same with just that one guy. It would be nice to have a guy like a Dom Smith.
Well, the Kyle Tuckers of the world, Bellingers, those are the Bichettes. Those are the kind of guys that JB is talking about. And they're not they're not there. They're not that close. Now, if they had Marichal and Perry and, the other, Jason Schmidt and, you had a staff like that, or, the Lincecum and Kane and Bumgarner, and, you knew you were going to go out and, be able to dominate, then you spend some money, but they're not in that frame of mind. They really want to get some of these young players. Now, they got so many of them. You you'd think you could put a deal together for a Brendan Donovan who would really help the lineup.
Right.
It really does help the lineup. Patrick Bailey, I just don't know what to expect from him. Maybe he turned the corner, that last month. He swung the bat pretty well.
Yeah, he did. He had a nice a month at the end of there. He had a good September.
Yeah, and Adames closed well. And
He did.
I think Eldridge is a big part of this whole thing. And I'll say it again, they're going to get the number 4 pick in the country.
Right. That's going to be big.
A stud. That's a player.
It is.
That's a guy who comes out of college, who's played at a high college level and walks in and can play.
Would you think, considering they got Josué Gonzalez and Luis Hernandez, do you think they go pitcher in that draft?
They could, but I think we're talking outfield. See, don't forget they traded the outfielder in the Devers trade, their number 1 pick from a couple of years ago. So I think they're back in the outfield business because they can't be thrilled with Matos, Ramos, and Lee. And you don't know what Gilbert, you just don't know where he's going to end up. So what do you really have in the outfield?
That's a good point.
So I think if there's an outfielder out there, the Dylan Cruz type, look, there's no guarantee these guys make it.
Right.
But I would go that way. I'd go outfield. I wouldn't mess around at short. Your shortstop is coming. Your second baseman's coming. You got a third baseman. You got a ton of first basemen. You need outfielders.
Yep. Insane Sports Takes, he kind of takes a similar approach as JB. Giants bullpen and rotation are both among the worst in the league. Our hitting, let me repeat, our hitting is the strength of the team right now, and that's how you know we are screwed, he says.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Look, the Rockies, maybe they got Michael Lorenzen, Willie Castro. How would you like to be the Rockies?
Yeah.
They're trying to do it all over again. Arizona's a tough team, but they got Arenado to play first. How about that?
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they don't have.
They said they're going to play him at first.
I think I saw that today that they want to play in first base. So then you get the Padres. Are they going to be sold? And this is the part of baseball that's kind of crazy. The Padres may get sold, and when you sell a team, you like to not give the new ownership a bunch of contracts that'll last forever. And, with Tatis and Machado and a few others, they've got some fairly big contracts in there.
Yeah.
It's not shocking. AJ Preller's, he's nuts. He'll do anything. It's not shocking to think that maybe Tatis could get traded. Seriously.
Right. You never, that's a lot of damn money. Hey, how about them Red Sox fans? Man, they aren't happy, are they, man? They talk about with the Bregman and man, they picked up Ranger Suarez, so they have a decent rotation. But you look at Boston, and their fans aren't too happy as well as far as just
they got young players coming. See, they've got them coming, and it's okay. I like what Boston's doing. I like their approach. They needed Bregman.
Yeah,
and he went to the Cubs. The Cubs are
going to be tough. Marty, would you agree? And I said this the other night is I like Bregman better than Tucker. He's got that clutch gene in him, and he gives you a tough at bat every single time. I like Bregman. He's a damn good ball player. So Cubs are going to be.
I'd rather have Tucker. I think just age, power. Being an outfielder, doesn't chase, doesn't, it's all that, the analytical stuff that goes with him. But look, both are winning players.
Right.
And the Cubs needed a guy. They need that guy who can lead them. And Bregman's that kind of guy.
And and they traded their top prospect to get Edward Cabrera. So the Cubs are doing something. So it's that one is not going to be easy. We got one more in here. Mike Val says we're really stacking our hopes on some late bloomers as far as some of these.
You're right. You nailed it. That is exactly true. That's what I got from Randy Wynn, And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's the pitchers too. I think the youngest in there would be Birdsong. I think he's the youngest one out of all the group, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
And
else is kind of in
and
their mid-20s.
Randy Wynn said it, quoted him. He said, "Look, the guy had a 12 strikeout game already. How do you just kiss him goodbye?" The Cub thing's interesting because Nico Horner, I think, stays. Then you get Bregman, and this Matt Shaw is sort of pushed out a little bit. And Matt Shaw got into it a little bit when he left the team. Remember, for Charlie Kirk's funeral, and said a whole bunch of stuff. It's not surprising. Let's see what they do with Matt Shaw. That's going to be interesting.
Think they might move him?
Who knows how the Cubs handle him?
Yeah,
but they're not handing him third base. I'll tell you that. Unless they do trade a Horner and put him at second and put Bregman at third. Do something like that. Well, the Cubs are interesting. Didn't they get Amai?
Yeah, that's right. They signed Amai as well. They got Amai. They traded for Cabrera, and they signed Bregman. They had a good offseason.
Look, the Yankees. See, this is where I thought the Giants should have been in a little bit, but they have all these young guys. Weathers goes to the Yankees. Cabrera's terrific. Wouldn't you like to have Cabrera in the rotation?
Would have been nice.
That arm. I don't know.
John Heyman said the Giants are one of the teams that are talking to, the whole Freddie Peralta from the Brewers, but I would think he's going to cost you a pretty penny as far as getting Peralta.
Yeah. Yep. I like Peralta. And look, Zach Minazian had him, when Zach was there. I assume they had some connection with him. Peralta would be nice to have if that could happen. Yeah, who knows? Look, the beauty of baseball is you never know what's going to happen. But as you get closer to spring training, you like to have your team kind of settled. It didn't work that year when Farhan brought in the guys, in March. Every day in spring training, we looked around. There was a new guy in the place.
Right. Wasn't that the year they signed Blake Snell and Matt Chapman? Yeah.
Including Otto Lopez.
Otto Lopez.
He's a terrific player.
And he's a good little player. Exactly. Rosemond's got a question. What are the things fans can do to send Giants ownership a message that they need to spend on players? Well, hey, real quick before you get to that, Marty, the Giants got a new owner, right? There's a new guy in the ownership group out of St. Louis. I don't know who he is or what he's about, but
somebody wanted to get rid of some of their shares, so somebody cashed out a little bit and brought the new person in. Now they sold 10% to another company
Street last year
to get, and that's money coming in. But the new guy, I think he bought shares that existed already.
Gotcha.
So I think he's just part of that. But they're not hurting.
No,
they're not hurting. But I said Posey, the best thing they ever did was put Posey in charge because he can do no wrong.
He's kind of taking I shouldn't say taking bullets, but because of his name and who he is, his stature, it kind of deflects a little bit. But there's still fans out there that are pretty upset. There's no doubt about it. I look at Twitter and boy, it's
to answer the question, don't go. That's ultimately what does a manager do? He can bench you. What could you do? You can bench the team if you really feel that strongly about it. But I don't think they're at that stage. The beauty of baseball this time of year is hope. Everybody has hope. No one's won a game. No one's lost a game. No one's eliminated. We don't know if the young players are going to make it. You don't know if Eldridge is going to hit 35. What if Eldridge hits 30 home runs?
Oh, man. I think I'd fall over.
But the place will go nuts.
Yeah,
the place is ready. And look for Jung-Ho Lee. They love this guy. When he does something special there, the place goes crazy.
It's incredible. I went to a few games last year.
Really well.
Every time he'd come up to bat, there goes the Jung-Ho Lee chant. It's like, holy man, this kid's batting like 250, and they're like chanting his name, ready to go.
And he may have a breakthrough season.
Yeah.
let's see what the new hitting philosophy is. Maybe go the other way and all that kind of stuff. Let's see if that happens.
Hey, Marty, have you heard? I haven't seen anything about like coaches as far as first base coach, third base coach.
No, for some reason, they have not finalized all that. I mean, maybe they're waiting to see how Ron Washington feels.
Oh, maybe, huh?
Maybe they're waiting to see if Wash, can go on the third base coaching line or if he'll be in the dugout. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know.
Yeah, I found that interesting. They've announced a lot of guys, but they haven't said where they're plugging them in.
Right. That's right. So, especially bench coach. They had that Trace, was it Kingler? Yeah, Jace, he's from Missouri and managed the Padres. So he'll be on the bench, I assume. I think it's a question of if Wash can go to third, because you don't need Wash on the bench with Tingler.
No. And unless they do the whole assistant manager and bench coach. I mean,
maybe.
I don't know. Seems a little redundant, little too many chefs in the kitchen.
Brandon Crawford, Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame. Did you see that?
Saw that.
Nice for him.
Nice little honor for him. Yeah, because
He was terrific. Terrific. Guy was terrific. You look at 12 and 14 and with Joe Panic, and what a pleasure, to play defense with those guys. I brought up the Cliff Lee story Tuesday night about Greg Papa saying, Cliff Lee is the best postseason pitcher in the history of baseball. And I said, wait till Freddie Sanchez season. Remember, I think he got like 3 doubles off him or something. It was great. But it's good for Crawford to go in the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame. That's nice for him. I was very happy to see that. Skubal. How do you like what's going on with Skubal?
Ooh, 32?
Well, they offered him 19.
Right.
And he asked for 31. Now, he's allowed to use comps of players who are 5th or 6th year players, making money, or players with contracts. He's allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me that with all these guys making 26 or 28 or 25 or 26, this guy should make 19?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tigers are going to eat it on this one. But if they don't want to pay this guy, he's good. He's good. You want to say goodbye to Robbie Ray and Tyler Malley and Hauser next year, and still have Logan Webb, who should have another 4 or 5 solid years in there.
Mm-hmm.
But get that guy in this ballpark.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh! Could you imagine?
And
he throws to the left,
kid, right? Isn't he East Bay?
I think he was born in Hayward or something, right? And then I think he grew up in your neck of the woods in Arizona, I think.
Yeah. So keep your eye on Skubal.
I found that interesting with that with the arbitration.
Because you're going to say goodbye to Ray. You're going to say goodbye to 3/5 of the rotation. Mm-hmm. And your hope group is solid. But boy, you're going to need a guy. You're going to need a guy. And that's a guy.
That's a guy.
Marty,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is Rob Manfred, is he a baseball fan? Is he a baseball fan? Because some of these, yeah.
I have him on my list tonight. God, our hour's almost up here. A couple of things I wanted to mention. We're going to talk about Manfred in a second.
Sure.
Max Kepler. Come on. He's taking something that cows take, that builds muscle in cows. Max, come on. Really? Jake McCarthy. I love this kid. Now, the Giants had Joe McCarthy, who couldn't do anything. This Jake McCarthy can fly.
He can fly.
And he had a terrible year last year. The year before that, he was outstanding. Mm-hmm. And the Rockies got him. I think the Giants missed on that one.
I think they did too, and that was within their own division. And it's a need that the Giants, right? It's a need for the Giants. I don't know. That guy can, and he can bunt too. How about that? He can bunt. I've seen him bunt, and he flies up the line.
I'm telling you, the guy can play. Why don't he plays in Colorado?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Good player. All right, let's take a break. We'll take a couple of more of our spots.
Sure.
I want to talk about Manfred and what he said, first of all, about players and how he envisions the season. No, he's not a baseball fan, but we'll
No.
talk about this. Go ahead, Eric. Let's play a couple of spots.
Here we go.
It's fall at River Islands and Lathrop, and the schools are back in session. There are 3 top-rated K through 8th grade academies within the community, and construction just started on Academy number 4. How about that? River Islands high school students are busy in the classroom and on the sports fields of their amazing new campus. Elsewhere in Northern California's most successful lifestyle community, they're putting the final touches on another park. This one with a playground, workout areas, tennis, a splash pad, and a picnic area. The fall weather is still perfect for launching a kayak or a paddleboard. Well, and I love that. Off your own deck and heading over to the Boathouse restaurant for lunch or dinner. More than 4,000 households have already made the move to River Islands. Today, with 15 neighborhoods priced from $600,000 to over $1 million, there's more variety in home styles and sizes than ever before. In fact, the only thing missing at River Islands is you. Start your tour at riverislands.com. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands? It sure was for me. Fans, great news. If you enjoy Original Joe's, there's a new Original Joe's coming to Walnut Creek, opening late May, early June. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It is going to be fabulous. 300 seats, 13,000 square feet, 3 outdoor patios with 90 outside seats, a full exhibition counter and cocktail lounge. You know, that's the best. And the cocktail lounge will have a multitude of TVs to watch the Giants and the dreaded A's if you want to. It's the first opening of an Original Joe's in 70 years in a new market, and this is really going to be something. 9 years since opening in Westlake, so this is going to be fabulous. It will have a private dining room with accommodations up to 40 people, with its own private bar and patio. It fits Walnut Creek like a glove. This is going to be something else. I can't wait to do some events at the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek, coming late May, early June.
All right. And that one's already open, right, Marty?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know some of these are dated because we haven't updated them yet, but we'll update everything. But it's, Original Joe's, Walnut Creek is happening. Hey, Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is happening again. I got to send out. People have already sent in money to me already.
Wow.
It's March 24th. The night before the opener with the Yankees. Come on Wednesday is the opener. Tuesday night is going to be Mardi Gras. And, we got 120 people, and we take over 2/3 of the restaurant in North Beach. And I got to get the letter out and, start doing that because that thing sells out like in 4 days. It's been sold out. It's $75 a person. And you got a full meal, a couple of drinks, dessert, appetizers and everything else. It's a great deal. And then we gave out hats last year, giant baseball caps and beads. We give that out, and it's fun. It's fun. So that's March 24th. So that's coming up. But yeah, we'll update all these commercials. What else we got, Eric? What else you got on?
Hey, producer Ryan, what's up? Ryan says, make sure you guys hit that like button.
Oh yeah. People should do that, so I guess it helps the numbers and all that kind of
Helps
stuff.
the algorithm and
I like doing this. I like this. I love the show on Sunday. I love Woe being on with me and Bruce Jenkins and Mark Simon and Glenn and Kerry and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. This is fun for me.
It's
because you could say anything. You could do whatever you want on this thing. And the comments, you make comments, I'll read them. I don't care. This is for us. This show is for us, and it's good.
Absolutely, and it's fun. You interact with everybody and all that good stuff. It's just good conversations, just like it was when you're on on the radio. It's just fun.
I like it. Kansas City is bringing in the fences. Did you see that?
I saw that by 10 feet.
Yeah. So we'll see what that does. If you're Bobby Witt, you got to be excited. Salvador Perez, you are going to get in the Hall of Fame because you're going to probably hit 45 now. You know,
I think they're
and
lowering the height too, right? Is it?
Yeah,
I think they're lowering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is not new for Kansas City, and I'll give you a history lesson. Charlie Finley, in the 60s, he owned the Kansas City A's, and of course he was envious of the Yankees and everything the Yankees could do. He said, why could the Yankees have a ballpark where right field is 296, where left field is 302? So he created something called a pennant porch, and he put up a temporary fence to make right field 296 and all this kind of stuff. And he went out and got Rocky Colavito and Jim Gentile and these big power hitters. And they ended up hitting, more home runs, but they gave up the most home runs in the league. And the manager, Eddie Lopat, the former Yankee, drove him nuts. And baseball made him take down the pennant porch. Then in left field, he put sheep in left field. He created a fence, and he put like a zoo, like he had sheep. And he had people sitting out there on the grass, and the sheep, of course, using the grass for their natural habitat.
Uh-huh.
And, people's clothes are ruined and all this stuff, sitting around in sheep stuff, shall we say. But they've done this in Kansas. Charlie Finley did it. And
That sounds like him.
the commissioner of baseball stepped in and said it's not going to work, but it backfired on him. But Kansas City is a trend that is happening. That's the point for our discussion. And I know the Giants have talked about it. Look, they did bring in the fences, but we still have Triples Alley, and that we could do a whole show on that. I would never want to see that gone.
It's unique. Look, Giants won 3 world championships in 5 years with the way the park was. Even it was bigger then. It was 421 in right center. Now it's 415, but it's unique, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
unique.
the defense, the right fielder plays all the way over. The line's exposed. I don't know. It's a beautiful part of the park.
It is.
It really is. And look, you can hit the ball over the wall and right, and you can hit the ball out and left. You can hit it out and left. You can do it. And Adames hit 30 home runs. So,
He
you
did?
can have. Someone wants to know if Bubic fits the Giants' needs. Yeah,
Rob.
Cole Reagan's is good. And City's got some pitching.
They do.
Absolutely. Yeah, Giants should be thinking someone in that range because they're going to need that guy. If these guys don't make that jump,
Right.
they're going to need someone next year. Forget it. I mean, it's serious. And if you could get something now, but they don't want to do it now because they don't want to take the chance away from Tidwell and people like that. They don't want to do it.
I understand that makes sense, but I don't know next year as far as free agency is concerned. I don't know if there's going to be much out there for starting pitching. That's something we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, and see, Buster did this last year, right? Didn't he want to see what the young pitching could do? And it really didn't do a whole heck of a lot.
He's got to see now. It's time to take a look because that is what they're doing. Now, maybe they'll make that trade, for the second baseman. Maybe that'll happen. But, you get close to spring training. You don't want any upheavals. You got Koss, you got Casey Schmidt, you got the kid from Tennessee. I want to see him play, see what he can do. The first pitch last year. Yeah. And then you got all these young kids, the international signings, and you got Johnny Neville, and you got people that played with that kid Martin. Woe talked about him. So spring training is going to be interesting, but they clearly want to give these people a chance. And that's it. So that's it.
And to kind of caveat on Luis Hernandez, the one they just signed, supposedly they may start him in San Jose, and that means he's going to be there with Joswar. That's going to be fun to watch those two guys, second and short, or vice versa. That's going to be something.
Yeah. They're the middle infield of the future.
Yes,
for the Giants. So look, there's a lot happening, and it's all Vitello. We haven't seen him do anything yet, and how he's going to react, and what the team's going to look like. So they're going to be a story every day, good or bad. I'm telling you, they will be a story. They will be a story. good or bad. And we got the WBC to talk about. I think we'll save Manfred for the next show.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me just say this: don't split the season, Rob. Don't even think about it. You know, baseball is based on records. Records are sacrosanct. They're what baseball's all about. Don't mess around with anything that can affect the records of baseball.
Right.
Yeah, I did actually print out the division lines today. Ooh. This Dodgers are 1-6, minus 600. Padres are 15-2, so 750. Giants are 9-1. Diamondbacks are 14-1, and the Rockies are 75-1.
Interesting.
So, what did the Padres do? You know, I'm gonna. I remember that we used to do the show. Give me a crazy thing.
Oh yeah, the crazy. Yeah.
Remember that? I used to do that. I'm gonna say my crazy thing is Padres trade Tatis.
Wow.
Now it's crazy. Maybe you don't have, maybe you won't, but I wouldn't pay that guy $300 million.
Right. I'm guessing they'll have to eat some of that contract, right?
Well, he may not. They may be able to move him to look. Kyle Tucker's getting that kind of money.
True.
Soto got the money he got. Maybe someone takes him and can use him.
Just takes it on. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So that's my crazy thing. Tatis.
Wow.
DeMario Eric go to minor leagues in San Jose. I have not. Have you, Eric?
I have not been down to San Jose to watch a game. I know Robbie DeVille. I know he goes down there all the time to watch him.
Can you bet Mike Vale? You want 75-1 for the Rockies? we can book that bet for you. Eric will cover that for as much as you want. No more. All right, this is fun. This is fun. What's new with you?
Get back into it again.
What's new with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just covering the off season. Hopefully, everything's gonna pan out. I just love to see the Giants just get a little bit better. If they want to compete in the division, they're going to have a little bit more than what they currently have. So we'll see what happens with the trades.
What are you doing show wise?
Right now we're just doing 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And
who's on?
We got, of course, my good buddy Glenn. He's on there with me, and then Lou's joined up with us.
Who?
And Lou's joined up with us as well.
I like your show. I like Glenn. Glenn is terrific. I like having him on.
Yeah, he's fun, isn't he? Yeah. Next time we go on, you can have him come on.
Yeah, let's do that. Do that. So let's see. Today is what's today? Thursday.
Thursday the 15th.
I've got the film festivals coming up. Yeah, maybe we may do something this week, or maybe we'll do it after the film festivals and all that. But I got that coming up in Miami. Yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, this is good. All right. Well, baseball's back.
It is.
Baseball's back. And I guess the one thing we'll say, in Buster, we trust.
Oh, no. We're going to go there. All right. We'll see.
Well, that's the deal.
It is.
That's the deal. All right. Everyone have a good night. Eric, thank you. And Ryan, if you're around. Is Ryan around?
I saw him in the chat. So
yeah, Ryan, for helping us out as well. Hit like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and keep your eye on the Twitter, wherever. How do we let people know?
We let people know on Twitter and also on Facebook as well.
Yeah. All right. So maybe next week, maybe before I go to Florida. If not, we'll do it afterwards.
Sounds great.
Cool. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being with us.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you kindly. Enjoy the next week. We've got a whole bunch of baseball to speak on here at Marty and